Hello and welcome Radio Zindagi listeners. सुन रहे हैं आप Radio Zindagi on 1550 AM and this is the day we are celebrating today here is Dussehra. जी हाँ, very special, very auspicious day today and we will be talking a lot about this on the show. The show we are starting is the Saket Bhatia Astrology Show. All you know that Saket जी हमारे साथ जुड़ते हैं every Tuesday, 4 to 5 p.m. That's when he comes on air on Radio Zindagi, and this is your opportunity. If you have any questions, you can definitely give him a call. He is a board member of the International Association of Vedic Astrology and Numerology and has over 25 years of experience with around 12,000 satisfied clients. To contact him, you can directly call him. The number to call is 408 639 5300. या फिर आप उनकी वेबसाइट पे जा सकते हैं विच इज़ बाय हिज फर्स्ट एंड लास्ट नेम विच इज़ saketbhatia.com और या फिर आप ईमेल कर सकते हैं info@saketbhatia.com. As you know that Dr. Saket Bhatia, who has his PhD in astrology, is a certified professional numerologist as well. So if you have any numerology related question, आप ज़रूर कॉल कीजिए उन्हें and he will be able to help you. As I said, it's a call-in show. अगर आपके पास कोई क्वेश्चन है एस्ट्रोलॉजी या न्यूमरोलॉजी से रिलेटेड 510-770-1550 that's our studio line number. Give us a call for a quick question. 510-770-1550 that's the number to the studio line. And once again, if you would like to call him directly, the number to call is 408-639-5300. With that information, चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं हमारे आज के शो की. Happy Dussehra to you.
Happy Dussehra to all the listeners of Radio Zindagi and a very happy Dussehra to you too, Vedika. How are you?
Thank you. Wonderful. So, आज हम दशहरा की शुरुआत कहाँ से करने वाले हैं? Are we going to give some background, some story?
See, everybody knows Dussehra है क्या?
जी.
The first thing that comes to mind is हमने रावण को जलाना है.
जी.
रावण ने राम को हरा दिया, भगवान राम ने, and we have to celebrate. It's the day that good triumphs over evil.
जी.
So this is the basic concept, but हम थोड़ा और बढ़ा के बोलेंगे. We'll talk about the history, even that precedes Ramayana.
Okay.
Then we are going to talk about, जो war हुआ था, उसके what was the outcome of the war, and how it impacts us, and in astrology, what is the significance of Dussehra. ये तीन चीजें हम discuss करेंगे.
Okay.
Something different.
So, are we like when we are talking about before Ramayana? So is that where the significance of देवी comes in, जहाँ की हम देवी को सेलिब्रेट करते हैं इन विजयदशमी?
तो आपने अच्छा क्वेश्चन पूछा.
जी.
आपने कहा कि देवी, तो that was another part of what we want to talk, but why don't we start with that?
Okay.
तो दशहरा जो है, it is the astrologically there are three significance तो बहुत है, but three important ones जो हम डिस्कस करेंगे. The first one is दशहरा is associated with planet Rahu. आपको पता नहीं होगा.
Okay.
During Dussehra, Rahu becomes very weak. Rahu जो planet है, it's a shadow planet. Planets move forward, ना? But Rahu Ketu move backwards.
Oh.
तो आपको, do you remember हमने कहा था Rahu Ketu क्या होते हैं कि you forgot?
I roughly remember the effect कि एक तो कुछ enhancing effect होता है एक का तो, and the other one just confused. Can you please brush it up?
अच्छा, तो राहु basically it's a story, ना? There's a monster and they had the potion कि they would live for eternity.
Yes.
And then भगवान ने इनका सिर काट दिया.
हाँ.
And the head is floating somewhere and body is floating somewhere.
Yeah.
That head is called Rahu.
Okay.
तो the Rahu is a head that has no body. तो वो खाते जाता है but never gets full.
Okay.
So that means that represents you, your passion, your desires जो life में हैं जो बढ़ती जाती हैं, but you're never content.
Okay.
तो अगर आपने देखा किसी की plan charts में Rahu is very strong, undoubtedly they can become a celebrity, they can become very popular, but they're never happy with the fame. They want more. Contentment नहीं होती.
Okay.
Ketu on the other hand, उसका job is to ulta, instead of expanding, to contract.
Okay.
Ketu is the one that is responsible for spirituality, disconnect from the world.
Oh.
भगवान राम की कुंडली में केतु इज एक्सॉल्टेड, which means very strong in the 12th house. जब केतु 12th house में strong होता है, आदमी spiritual बन जाता है. I mean, there are many more mathematical formulas to it. तो राहु, when you look up in the sky and you see the moon rising, जिस पोर्शन से मून राइज होता है, that is राहु. जब
Okay.
मून सेट जहां होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड केतु. इजी,
Okay. When you put it that way.
सिंपल. तो
Yeah.
इन एस्ट्रोलॉजी राहु बिकम्स वेरी वीक. तो अगर राहु की कोई उपाय चाहिए आपको, यू वांट सम एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल रेमेडीज, दशहरा इज अ गुड डे टू डू इट.
Okay.
दैट इज नंबर वन. अब दशहरा जो है 24 अक्टूबर को है. जस्ट बिफोर दशहरा जो 9 दिन होते हैं, you will always realize that there are two constellations that rise. One is Leo,
Hmm.
and after that Virgo. Those are the two rising constellations just before Dussehra for 9 days.
Okay.
Leo is also called Sim Rashi,
Yeah.
while Virgo is called Kanya Rashi.
Kanya. Yes.
What is the significance of those 9 days for Lion and Kanya? It is Durga.
Durga. Yes.
So that is how it is treated in astrology.
Wow.
We believe कि Durga is there, Durga माता 9 दिन के लिए दिखती है हमें. In astrology, the first rising sign for 9 days before Dussehra. So that is one astrological significance. The second astrological significance would be it's actually कि जो South India में पूजा करते हैं.
Okay.
In Dussehra, moon enters the house of Saturn.
Hmm.
Moon represents your mind.
Yeah.
Saturn represents the working class.
Hmm.
तो जब मून माइंड वर्किंग क्लास में चला जाता है, इट क्रिएट्स अ योग विच इज कॉल्ड पूर्णपू दोषा. उस दोष में इट कॉजेज ऑब्स्टिकल्स इन द वर्किंग क्लास वर्किंग कम्युनिटी. तो
Okay.
उसकी पूजा की जाती है.
They worship their tools,
दे वर्शिप देयर टूल्स,
equipments, everything.
they worship their tools, they worship their equipments, and it is ruled by Shravan. मैंने नोट्स भी लिखे हैं, so I don't get confused because this is a lot for me also.
जी.
तो मून जब सैटर्न की दशा घर में आता है, तो जनरल पब्लिक वर्किंग क्लास स्टार्ट्स टू वर्शिप, सो दे हैव सम सॉर्ट ऑफ लेस इफेक्ट ऑफ
The negative effect.
नेगेटिव इफेक्ट्स.
Yes.
तो उससे करने के लिए. एंड थर्ड, दशहरा इज द टाइम फॉर यू, योर माइंड, टू रिकग्नाइज व्हाट योर पर्पस ऑन लाइफ इज.
Wow.
सिंपल क्वेश्चन. भगवान राम तो विष्णु थे, वो तो चले गए ऊपर. व्हाट अबाउट रावण? वेयर डू यू थिंक रावण वेंट?
I think he was a great scholar. Maybe he also went to heaven.
उनकी स्टोरी बताएंगे आपको.
जी.
He
Yeah,
went
I'm
to
really
heaven too.
excited to.
Now, if Ravan can go to heaven, why can't you and I? देखिए लाइफ का पर्पस क्या है.
हमारी लाइफ में वो हमारी कुंडली में वो योग होने चाहिए ना.
देखिए लाइफ का पर्पस क्या है. नो मैटर हाउ गुड यू आर, नो मैटर हाउ बैड यू आर, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे द सोल इज गोइंग टू गो बैक टू हेवन.
Yeah, of
इट्स
course.
कॉल्ड मोक्ष.
Yeah.
एक जन्म नहीं, 100 जन्म नहीं, 1000 जन्म भी ले सकते हो आप, बट मोक्ष मिलता है. योर पर्पस, योर सोल्स पर्पस इज टू गो विद गॉड, टू सर्व गॉड, एंड दैट इज व्हाट एस्ट्रोलॉजी इज अबाउट. दैट इज व्हाट वी ट्राइंग टू ट्रेन यू. इस शो से पहले वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट 11th लॉर्ड विच इज हाउस ऑफ गेन्स.
Right.
जो गेन्स का लॉर्ड है, ही गिव्स यू गेन्स,
Hmm.
but at the same time he distracts you from your core purpose, which is to get moksha. That's why spirituality, that's why that house ka jo lord hai is considered to be bad.
Okay.
So astrology is spirituality. मैंने पहले भी कहा है, no astrology chart will tell you कि ये नहीं हो सकता आपके साथ. You can get it, free will है, आप काम करो. Everlasting fame नहीं मिल सकती आपको, but you will get some sort of fame if you really want it. You work hard for it. So today, from an astrological point of view, I want to discuss. In closing में बताएंगे why, in my opinion, Dussehra is so important for you and why you need to look at it differently from what you've been looking every year.
I'm already looking at it so differently because इतनी सारी significance तो I didn't even know. It's mind blowing.
See, again, my job as an astrologer is to promote astrology, to protect individuals like yourself, and to educate you that we are here to help you. Right? The association also has this purpose, International Association of Astrology. Help individuals, help make sure keep you are given the right guidance, you are given the right direction in life. क्योंकि astrology rule book है, इसकी interpretation astrologer के ऊपर होता है. If we make mistakes, we're going to give you wrong guidance.
जी.
If we are able to read right, we'll give you right guidance. So now let's talk about the history of.
So before going to the history on help, I would like to remind listeners once again, the Saket Bhatia Astrology Show is what you're listening to right now live on Radio Zindagi. And if you have any questions, अगर आप दशहरा से related या और भी कोई भी question है आपके मन में, Dr. Saket Bhatia is right here with me with all the answers. Call कीजिए 408-639-5300. That's his direct number. After the show, you can call him 408-639-5300. And for a quick question, 510-770-1550. Do give us a call on the studio line number 510-770-1550. info@saketbhatia.com is where you can write to him, and saketbhatia.com उनकी वेबसाइट है जहां आपको सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलेगी. जी.
So in English we call it heaven,
Yeah.
where God resides. Hinduism में we call it
Vaikunt.
Vaikunt.
जी.
The Vaikunt is the abode of eternal bliss, where God stays, right? Now ये जो Vaikunt है, where जहाँ विष्णु भगवान रहते हैं, it is guarded by two brothers, two twins. One's name is Vijaya and the other's name is Jaya. तो स्टोरी ये है कि one day four Kumaras, by Kumaras I mean young people, four Kumaras came to meet Bhagwan Vishnu. Their names were Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanantana and Sanant Kumar. ये छोटे से आ गए and they demanded to Jaya and Vijaya, the guards, twins, कि we want to meet Bhagwan Vishnu. And ये इन्होंने दोनों भाइयों ने कह दिया, no, you're not allowed, तुम तो बच्चे हो, you can't meet. But what he did not know कि इन्होंने तपस्या की थी, they looked young but they were very old, they were very knowledgeable and they were one of the four mind gods of Brahma. तो उन्होंने कहा no. तो these four said कि भगवान विष्णु तो उनको मिलते हैं जो उनसे प्रेम करते हैं, जो भगवान तो आपके मन में है, हमें भगवान को मिलना है, हम तो भक्त हैं. इन्होंने ना कर दी. तो they got a curse. They got a curse that they have to stay away from Bhagwan. These two brothers started crying. भगवान विष्णु प्रकट हुए और कहा कि क्या हुआ है. तो दो भाइयों ने कहा कि हमें कर्स मिला है कि वी हैव टू स्टे अवे फ्रॉम यू. भगवान विष्णु ने कहा आई कैन नॉट टेक दिस कर्स बैक, बट आई कैन डू समथिंग फॉर यू. आई एम गिविंग यू अ चॉइस. 7 lives यू स्टे अवे फ्रॉम मी एज माई भक्त ऑन अर्थ. ये दोनों भाई रोके बोले कि हम 7 जन्म नहीं रह सकते आपके बिना. चॉइस नंबर 2, गो बैक ऑन अर्थ, स्टे फॉर 3 lifetimes एज माई एनिमी.
ओके.
तो दे सेड हमें वो मंजूर है, लेकिन हम आपके बगैर 7 जन्म नहीं रह सकते. तो भगवान विष्णु ने कहा ओके. सो इन द फर्स्ट लाइफ दे वर बोर्न एज हिरण्यक्ष
एंड
हिरण्यक्ष एंड हिरण्यकशपु.
जी.
आपको तो पता है, वन वाज किल्ड बाय द बोर
नरसिंह
एंड
अवतार.
वन वाज किल्ड बाय नरसिंह अवतार.
जी.
सेकंड जन्म दे वर बोर्न एज रावण एंड कुंभकर्ण.
ओके. सो अगेन राम.
भगवान राम ने उनका वध कर दिया था.
जी.
एंड थर्ड लाइफ दे वर बोर्न एज शिशुपाल एंड दंतवर्का,
ओके.
जिसको कृष्ण भगवान
कृष्ण
ने
ने.
कहा. सो नाउ दे आर गोइंग अप एंड दे आर स्टेइंग. सो इसकी सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है? द रीजन आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस स्टोरी इज दैट यू एंड आई आर सिंपल सोल्स. And the story illustrates that every soul undergoes a transformation of positive and negative. We take births in which we could be praising God or we could be adversities of the God. But at the same time, we will find redemption and return to our original state, which is to serve the God. That is our true purpose in life. अगर आपको कोई नहीं पसंद, वो इस जन्म में नहीं पसंद, but he could be a nice soul.
Yeah.
So don't hate anybody. ये कहना चाहता हूँ.
That's a beautiful thought. So there is one caller waiting for
Sure.
us. Hello, you're on air with Dr. Saket Bhatia.
Hi, Dr. Bhatia. Can I ask a question about my job and career?
Yeah, happy Dussehra to you. आपका नाम क्या है?
My name is Anu.
Sure, and this is for you, the question.
Yes.
Acha, what is your date of birth?
December 23rd, 71.
Okay, so you were born on a Thursday. And what is your time of birth?
11:55 p.m.
Okay, and where were you born?
Sindri, Jharkhand.
In Jharkhand?
Yes, Sindri.
Just give me a second, let me look that up. How do you spell that?
Sindri.
D-I-I?
DRI.
Sindri.
Yeah, Sindri in Jharkhand.
Okay, मिल गया. तो आपका क्वेश्चन क्या है, अनु जी?
I'm trying to change jobs to get a better job opportunity क्योंकि मेरी internal कोई progress नहीं हो रही है जहाँ पे मैं काम कर रही हूँ.
Okay.
तो अभी इंटरव्यू दिया है, राउंड 1 फ्राइडे और मंडे को कंप्लीट हुआ. तो I'm very interested in that role. वो तो मुझे पूछना था कि what are my prospects?
What kind of work do you do right now?
Management role.
अच्छा, आपकी जो चार्ट है, योर लियो असेंडेंट इन वैदिक एस्ट्रोलॉजी, जो सन है ना, ही इज वेरी वेल प्लेस्ड इन द फिफ्थ हाउस. Fifth house is house of advice, house you will give other people and how you will manage your life. आपकी जो जो करियर है, दैट इज द करियर लॉर्ड हैवीनेस, ही सिट्स इन न्यूट्रल डिग्निटी, और उसके घर में सैटर्न बैठा है. सैटर्न इज वन प्लैनेट विच विल कॉज स्टेबिलिटी. इस चार्ट के लिए सैटर्न इज ऑल्सो रूलर ऑफ सेवन. यू हैव नेवर स्टार्टेड योर ओन बिजनेस. आपने कभी खुद का नहीं किया ना कुछ?
नहीं, मैंने नहीं किया. और मेरे को जहाँ तक पता है कि मैंने जब भी ऑनलाइन अपना चार्ट बनाया है तो मुझे तो वर्गो असेंडेंट आता है. लियो नहीं.
वैदिक में अलग होता है.
वैदिक में ही बनाती हूँ मैं एस्ट्रोसेज पे.
आपने यू सेड December 23rd 1971
करेक्ट.
at 9:55.
No, 11:55.
11:55. That could do it.
Yeah.
11:55. Okay. अच्छा, your Virgo ascendant. Right. आपका जो this is an easy chart to read actually. तो आपका जो Virgo ascendant है, Mercury is sitting in your house of courage and younger siblings. अब अभी आपकी दशा चल रही है केतु वीनस की. उसके बाद केतु सन आता है. केतु हाउस ऑफ गेन्स. केतु वीनस इज 7 houses away. It's a good placement. It's a good house. आपका question is, when you applied for a job, will you get the job or no?
Yeah, I did the round 1 interviews on Friday and Monday.
Okay.
And I want to get that job. And after round 1, I have to, if I get selected, then it is round 2.
So, केतु, देखिए आपके घर जो है, हाउस ऑफ करियर, दैट इज, उसमें पाप कत्री योग दिखता है विद केतु सैटर्न. सो देयर इज गोइंग टू बी सम स्ट्रेस. सन इज ऑल्सो नॉट अ गुड प्लैनेट. ही इज एस्पेक्टिंग योर करियर. करेक्ट. वो तो आपको पता है. मार्स की भी दृष्टि उस पर पड़ रही है, एंड मार्स इज अगेन अ मेलेफिक प्लैनेट. सो यू हैव सम बैड प्लैनेट्स लुकिंग एट इट. बट जो दशा चल रही है केतु वीनस की, दैट इज 7. केतु एंड वीनस शुड नॉट गिव यू बैड रिजल्ट्स. और आपके घर पे जो एस्पेक्ट पड़ रहा है, द लॉर्ड मर्क्यूरी शुड गिव यू गेन्स. इन अ नटशेल, इफ आई गो टू योर अंतरदशा, व्हिच इज राइट नाउ यू आर रनिंग, केतु वीनस जुपिटर की दशा चल रही है. Jupiter is aspecting that house, and Jupiter also is a good planet for you, benefic planet. You should get the job, but only after October 16th. That is the only time for you. But if you get it, you should. My gut is 99% आपको मिलता है job, but before December 12th, you should get it. No reason why.
Okay.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for your question. And if you would like to connect with Dr. Saket Bhatia after the show, 408-639-5300 is his direct number. Listeners, आप सुन रहे हैं डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया को लाइव अभी रेडियो जिंदगी पे. इफ़ यू ऑल्सो हैव एनी क्वेश्चन, आप कॉल कर सकते हैं. स्टूडियो लाइन्स आर ओपन. 510-770-1550. दैट्स आवर स्टूडियो लाइन नंबर. वंस अगेन, इट्स 510-770-1550. Do call us for a quick question, and with the combined power of astrology and numerology, Dr. Saket Bhatia can help you gain direction and provide guidance in your life's journey. So definitely call कीजिए 510-770-1550, और या फिर शो के बाद उनसे डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट करना चाहते हैं 408-639-5300. और for all his information, website is the best source, saketbhatia.com.
Okay, so we'll continue with discussing the kundlis, right?
जी.
तो जब हम एस्ट्रोलॉजी के स्कूल में जाते हैं, दे टीचर्स द कुंडली ऑफ भगवान राम, दे टीचर्स द कुंडली ऑफ भगवान कृष्णा. कोई रावण की कुंडली नहीं पढ़ाता हमें.
ओह, सो आपकी करिकुलम में है कुंडली राम की, आपने पढ़ी है?
या पढ़ते हैं, सब पढ़ते हैं
जी.
तो टुडे व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू इज, हम कंपेयर करेंगे भगवान राम की कुंडली विद रावण कुंडली, कि ऐसा क्या हो गया कि एक चार्ट से एक भगवान बन गए, और एक चार्ट से ऐसा है कि 5000 साल में किसी ने अपने बच्चे का नाम रावण नहीं रखा है. Nobody keeps their business name Ravan in enterprises. Nobody wants to be associated with Ravan. रावण को जलता देखते हुए सबको खुशी होती है. रावण को मरता देखते टीवी पे सब खुश होते हैं. तो ऐसा क्या हो गया ये चार्ट में? What is the difference in these two charts? So first let's talk about similarities and difference. The issue is good planets are placed in bad houses in Ravan's chart. In Bhagwan Ram's chart, good planets are placed in good houses. तो अगर हम चार्ट पढ़ें, दोनों की चार्ट में they had 5 exalted planets. जुपिटर, सन, सैटर्न, मार्स एंड वीनस दोनों की चार्ट में एग्जॉल्टेड थे.
ओके.
बट द प्लेसमेंट वाज सो डिफरेंट कि भगवान राम की कुंडली में जुपिटर जो एग्जॉल्टेड थे कॉज गज केसरी योग, रावण के सैटर्न कॉज विष योग. एंड जो एस्पेक्ट्स थे हम एक एक करके थोड़ा सा पढ़ेंगे. यू विल अंडरस्टैंड एग्जैक्टली हाउ इट वर्क्स. आपको याद होगा कि हमने कहा था कि देयर आर सम योग्स व्हिच आर दशा डिपेंडेंट, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द चार्ट्स जो योग थे भगवान राम और रावण की, दे आर दशा इंडिपेंडेंट. दे मेड देम द पीपल दे आर.
So this somehow, like, are you saying that उनकी कुंडली में कुछ similarities थी दोनों की?
दोनों की कुंडली में 5 प्लैनेट एग्जॉल्टेड थे.
As you just mentioned.
मर्क्यूरी दोनों की कुंडली में वीनस के साथ बैठा है. वीनस एग्जॉल्टेड दोनों की कुंडली में है. व्हेन अ प्लैनेट लाइक मर्क्यूरी ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस इज डिबिलिटेटेड, you have lack of intelligence, but you cannot say भगवान राम and Ravan were not intelligent people.
Yeah, of course.
जब debilitated planet exalted के साथ बैठता है, they become even stronger. So दोनों की कुंडली वैसी थी. I will go through it in slight detail because we'll run out of time, but I want to explain कि था क्या इन कुंडलियों में. तो भगवान राम जो थे वो रघुकुल डायनेस्टी में थे.
जी.
Look at the dynasty that came to both of them. रघुकुल डायनेस्टी was under हरीशचंद्र, सत्यवादी हरीशचंद्र, उनके नीचे जो डायनेस्टी थी. रावण जो थे वो पल्लस्या डायनेस्टी में थे. वो डायनेस्टी जो थे वो 10 प्रजापति के थे. एंड वन ऑफ हिज ग्रेट ग्रेट एंसेस्टरियल ग्रैंडफादर्स वाज अ सप्तऋषि, व्हिच मींस द 7 ग्रेट सेजेस.
Wow.
तो दोनों की
Great lineage.
great lineage, both of them were brought from extraordinary families. Both had extraordinary beautiful wives. Both wives were worshippers of Shivji,
Shivji.
right? सीता एंड मंदोदरी. दोनों की सिमिलैरिटीज आप देखते जाइए क्या है. राइट नाउ फॉर भगवान राम जुपिटर वाज एक्सॉल्टेड, फॉर रावण जुपिटर इज एक्सॉल्टेड. बट फॉर भगवान राम जुपिटर इज विथ मून मेकिंग गज केसरी योग. नाउ if you look at his chart, it is not the chart of a man who is 5-6 feet tall. According to this chart, he should have been even 6.5, 7, 8 feet tall. ये ऐसी चार्ट है. Ravan, on the other hand, also was huge
Yeah.
because of his just the kundali. Now, जो गज केसरी योग बनता है ascendant में, it makes a person very knowledgeable, very caring, commanding personality. So you would expect to see जब आप भगवान राम को मिलोगे, he's a very kind-hearted, smiling person. But don't fall for that. There is an aspect of Saturn on his ascendant. जब शनि का ascendant आता है, the person tends to be very calm, even in the face of enemies. Unfortunately for him, there is also direct aspect of exalted Mars on his ascendant. Because of that, it makes him a ruthless warrior, somebody who will stand and fight with people for what he thinks is right. इन्होंने कितने करोड़ों demons का नाश कर दिया था, one man, single-handedly.
जी.
So it is the chart of a very angry person also. When जब भगवान को गुस्सा आता है तो बहुत गुस्सा आता है. Ravan on the other house had Saturn moon with Saturn exalted sitting in the sign of Libra. ये विश योग है and this is the worst possible wish योग you can have. उसके ऊपर he was a very ऐसे आदमी थे जो सबको क्रिटिसाइज करते थे. You've met these kind of people in your life जो कभी खुशी नहीं होते. They always think they want more. They criticize others. So think of Ravan that way. Very arrogant, extremely brilliant. But everything he achieved in life was through his own hard work. I understand वो king थे. He was born in that lineage, but he still did more than what his parents had done. Right? He had the aspect of 11th Lord, Sun, directly aspecting his ascendant. That made him very arrogant, very power hungry and very egoistic. तो ये अलग हो गया. One had Jupiter moon, one had sun, one had Saturn with moon. तो आपने देख लिया कि planets की वजह से क्या हो गया. सिर्फ कुंडली रोटेट की है.
उलट गया बिल्कुल.
उलट गया. Let's talk about knowledge and spirituality. भगवान राम had Ketu exalted in the 12th house and he had Rahu sitting in the 6th. Now basic education पढ़ते हैं जो 4th house में होता है.
जी.
भगवान राम की कुंडली में ही हैड Saturn in the 4th house exalted. So we know जिस घर में planet बैठेगा exalted, it's going to do well. So knowledge wise he definitely was very very smart. Right? The 5th house जो उनका था, it had aspect of Jupiter, very wise man. इसलिए कहते हैं कि अगर आपका Jupiter 5वें घर में हो, या जुपिटर 5वें घर पे एस्पेक्ट कर रहा हो, गिव एडवाइस टू पीपल. You will be a good speaker. You'll be a good articulate man who can help others. तो ये था उनकी कुंडली में. Now, ninth house rules over spirituality. And भगवान राम की कुंडली में जो ninth house है, that had exalted Venus and it had Mercury in it. So, he stood up for what he thinks is right. And he stood up for what he wants. Stubborn traditions is what we call it. Bhagwan Ram was very stubborn in one form or the other. Right?
Yeah.
Now, in today's world, that is what we believe. Now, he will go at any cost, even lose his wife.
Maryada Purushottam.
Maryada Purushottam. Now, for Ravan, on the other hand, he had exalted Saturn, which was house of the fourth lord, placed in the first house. Fourth house तो knowledge हो गया. अगर वो first में आ गया, आपकी knowledge तो बहुत ज़्यादा होगी. And it is exalted. Right? So, not to mention, he was very smart. In fact, he's also been credited with writing some verses of the Vedas. We knew he played the veena. We knew he was very good at it. उनके भी Venus था with Mercury, but in the sixth house, the house of service. Not in the house of lineage, but in the house of service. Ravan was very devoted towards Shivji.
Shivji, yes.
Why? Because Venus and Mercury sixth house में बैठ गए. House of service and devotion to Shivji. तो ऐसी होती है charts. We'll talk about relationships now. थोड़ा थोड़ा करके बात करते हैं relationship.
जी.
Bhagwan Ram was what? The ideal son, the ideal husband, the ideal father, the ideal God, the ideal human being.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Unse nobody else has ever been born. Is
Yes.
considered to be the ideal of everything. Yet, placement of planets have created trouble for him in his life. He had to separate from his wife. Because Mars जो सातवें घर पे था, it caused a lot of problem. जो Saturn भी था चौथे घर में, it caused lots of problems. See, Saturn is not a good planet. I mean, it could be good for your kundli, but overall the planet खराब है. He gives you property, but gives you lots of hard work for that. He gives you lots of stability, but you have to suffer. Mars तो aggression हो गया. Mars was directly looking at Bhagwan Ram's personality. Saturn's 10th aspect. अब वो बैठ भी गए हैं ऐसे घरों में, like marriage house. So what do you think happened? He derived little to no happiness in his marriage.
Yeah.
The 10 years or 13 years he was with his wife, good. उसके बाद तो he barely spent any time with her. Now remember, हमने ये भी कहा था, she had अखंड साम्राज्य योग. Half her life went in
Yes.
as a princess, और
And
बाकी
then-
half life
Yeah.
went in I would not say misery, but not a good life, struggle.
Yeah, of course.
Now the third lord जो होता है house of courage and house of younger siblings. भगवान राम की कुंडली में the third house
It
lord
must be strong.
the third house lord was Mercury. It is placed in the ninth house. That means his brothers stood with him for life.
Lakshman. Yes.
Lakshman, Bharat,
course.
Shatrughan, they stood with him for
Everybody.
life.
Yeah.
Ram derived a lot of happiness from his mothers during childhood. His favorite mother was Kekai, who banished him for 14 years. Now he was reincarnated as Bhagwan Krishna. And Kekai was born and she was his mother.
Yes.
Now when she asked him कि you are God, why didn't you free me earlier? He told her, आपने मुझे 14 साल वनवास में भेजा था, ये कर्म है आपके. So you had to also
Come back.
come back and be in exile for 14 years. तो ये होता है. Now the placement of Saturn, aspect of Sun, and this negative relation of Saturn and Sun in a kundali made him have a war with his own children.
Yeah.
Not many people can claim they have wars with their kids. वो तो
Mental wars तो खैर चलता रहता है.
पता नहीं, हमारा बच्चा तो बहुत छोटा है. You're saying from experience. But Ravan was very proud, arrogant. His relationship with his wife was actually not good. She always gave him good advice. उन्होंने सुनी नहीं
But he
कभी.
never heard it.
He never heard it. Now, Ravan's mother was a very ambitious woman. She shaped him to be the man he is. Yes, she made him go to good schools, she educated him, but ये जो greed था उनकी life में came from his mother. His father was a very learned man.
Okay.
He was a pandit, he was a sadhu, he was a pious Brahmin who gave him knowledge of the Vedas. Now, but due to the aspect of Mars and Lord of the 10th house moon, they gave him an overbearing personality. Because of his Saturn, he never listened to his father. जो placement थी Saturn की, he never listened to his father at all. And जो उनका third house lord था, वो sixth house में चला गया. Third house is house of younger siblings. Sixth house is house of ill health and people backstabbing you. Both his siblings gave him wrong advice.
Yes.
Whether it was Shuplaka or whether it was Vibhishan.
Yes.
They gave him advice, but
Didn't support him.
they didn't support him.
Yeah.
At the end, it was his downfall because of his siblings.
Yes.
तो हम आपको यही कह रहे हैं कि when you come to us and we study your charts, we have to study these things correctly. कि कौन सा घर कहाँ बैठा है, किसके साथ बैठा है, how does it impact your life? See, every parameter in your life, whether it is your hair, teeth, bones, younger siblings, courage, your effort, energy, everything is controlled by 12 houses. Now, if you have a billion aspects divided by 12, there are millions in each house.
Yes.
That's when an astrologer has to ask you, what do you need from me? आपको career देखना है, किस चीज का career देखना है? That's why when somebody calls and says, I want a job, what are you doing today? Are you doing engineering? Are you doing, medical stuff? Are you doing pharmacy? क्या कर रहे हो आप? Acting, modeling. Based on that, we can give you an answer. There is no such general answer. 10th house है, Jupiter जा रहा है, हो गया. No, it doesn't work that way. Now, similarities between Bhagwan Ram and Ravan. Both Ram and Ravan had Panch Mahapurush Yoga. They had 5 exalted planets.
Yeah.
Both of them had something called Neech Bhang Raj Yoga. नीच भंग राजयोग में क्या होता है, कभी कभी प्लैनेट बहुत वीक हो जाता है, बट देर आर डिफरेंट रूल्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ दैट पर्टिकुलर प्लैनेट विच इज वीक इज सिटिंग विद अ प्लैनेट विच इज वेरी स्ट्रांग एक्सॉल्टेड, वो कैंसिल हो जाता है.
Right.
इफ द लॉर्ड ऑफ द हाउस ऑफ द प्लैनेट इट इज सिटिंग इन इज एक्सॉल्टेड, वो कैंसिल हो जाता है. इफ इट इज
Okay.
सिटिंग एट एन एंगल फ्रॉम द ascendant और मून, वो कैंसिल हो
So
जाता
जो
है.
नेगेटिविटी है वो इफेक्ट नहीं करती फिर.
इट बिकम्स स्ट्रॉन्गर, पॉजिटिव वे.
Okay.
And these are not written in software codes, these are in our head.
Yes.
तो हमें जब कोई फोन करके कहता है कि my Saturn is debilitated, I look and say no, it's not. Maybe it is debilitated in your chart, but D9 में अगर थोड़ा strong हो तो it can give you better results. So don't go literally on what is written out there. You have to be good. अभी डॉक्टर भी हमें यही कहते हैं, don't go on Google and read.
Yes.
But I encourage you to go on Google. I encourage you जाओ, अपनी चार्ट बनाओ, अपने योग देखो. And हमने कहा है आपको, योग्स are extremes.
बट देखो, पर हाँ, जो एक्सपर्ट है, आई थिंक अल्टीमेटली एडवाइस आप एक्सपर्ट की लो.
Today morning I got a call from somebody. I had a consultation before the show. और जिसने कहा कि भाई I said, why are you talking to me? He said, मैंने अपने योग चेक किया, I'm going to go blind. I said, देखिए ये जो योग है, they are extremes. You cannot say कि I'm going to go blind. No, I'm suffering from vision distress. I said, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, ये placebo effect हो जाता है. You've read it, but go to an expert who knows what they're saying.
And plus, half knowledge is sometimes dangerous. So I really feel this is pretty wide and like detailed field, and you should consult a expert. And listeners, आप सुन रहे हैं एक expert को right here, right now. Dr. Saket Bhatia is the person I'm talking to right now. And as I mentioned that he has 25 years of experience in the field of astrology and numerology. अगर आप कोई भी क्वेश्चन है आपके मन में, अगर आप कोई भी गाइडेंस चाहते हैं, इफ़ यू वुड लाइक टू डिस्कस योर एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल चार्ट्स विद हिम, फॉर एवरीथिंग डेफिनेटली आप उन्हें कांटेक्ट कीजिए, आप उनसे मिल सकते हैं. कॉल कीजिए 408-639-5300 पे, और या फिर उनकी वेबसाइट पे यू विल गेट इन्फॉर्मेशन saketbhatia.com. एंड it could be anything. If you have any financial questions, if you have any relationship questions, if you have any other questions about yourself, whatever it is, wherever you are stuck, just meet him, just discuss that with him, and maybe he can see something in your charts and help you with that. So once again, the number to reach him is 408-639-5300. And if you have any quick question, we have around 20 more minutes in the show. 510-770-1550, that's our studio line का number, 510-770-1550. अगर कोई भी क्विक क्वेश्चन है आपका एस्ट्रोलॉजी या न्यूमरोलॉजी से रिलेटेड, do give us a call. Dr. Saket Bhatia is live on air and he's right here with us for another 20 minutes. 510-770-1550.
Now, we know that दिखाते हैं आपको कि कुंडली कैसे चेंज होती है.
जी.
Bhagwan Ram had Jupiter and Moon conjunction in the first house. Powerful Gaj Kesri Yoga. He was able to say what is right and what is wrong. Most people that have that yoga can say that. The aspect of Mars made him angry. But Jupiter Moon ensures that you have to maintain your calm, learn to stand up when you can. There are many people जिनका Mars weak होता है. They can't stand up for themselves. उनको शर्म आ जाती है. They can't seize the moment. Opportunity miss कर जाते हैं because they can't stand up. On the other hand, Bhagwan Ram had an exalted Mars, but because of that aspect of Saturn, he could show his calm. But at the same time, he was a one-woman man because of those particular yogs in his kundali. Now look at Ravan. He had the Vish Yoga. He was a very lustful man. He not only went after multiple women, but went after sannyasi women also. He earned a very bad curse because of this. जब भगवान भगवान से पूछा था कि आपने रावण को इतना बड़ा दंड क्यों दिया? Is it because he took away Sita? He said no. He was supposed to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But उन्होंने पंडितों का नाम खराब किया. He came as a pandit
Yes.
to take away. तो उन्होंने reputational damage की पंडितों की. तो this is what you need to be aware of. Same as us, as an astrologer, if we are doing something wrong, we are giving the whole community a bad name. That is something we don't want to do. The reputational damage, it will come back on our head. And हमें ये नहीं चाहिए. Same with doctors also. When they give you advice, they should give you good advice, which I believe all doctors really want to do. They want to give you the best advice. They care about your health. So same with us. We want to help you. Now coming back to Ravan, he had a very complicated Venus and Mercury in the 6th house. That made him addicted to alcohol, gambling, women, etc. And we know जब Venus किसी का 12th house में exalted होता है, it gives him all the luxuries in life he wants. Money, woman, alcohol, क्या चाहिए? मिलता है आपको. And that's exactly what he wants. Vish Yoga ruined his life for him. It was his failure, it was his downfall. तो ये similarities है दोनों की चार्ट में और ये differences दोनों की चार्ट में. Both of them were blessed with extraordinary intelligence, superior intelligence. Nobody can have more intelligence than Bhagwan Ram. He is God. But no human can have the intelligence that Ravan had. It is fundamentally impossible. आज की डेट में ऐसी चार्ट बनी ही नहीं, ना किसी की हमने देखी है जो ऐसे बन सकती है. Both prayed to Lord Shiva. Right? But the trait of anger, hatred, greed took over one, while the other was a very peaceful person. So what I'm trying to say is, life में hardships तो होती है. रावण की लाइफ में भी hardships थी. भगवान राम की लाइफ में तो बहुत ही ज्यादा hardships थी. But even after all those hardships, he said, I want to protect religion. I want to protect dharma. I want to make sure that people remember me. कि जो life होती है, that is not easy. You have to struggle through life. And आपको success, failure आपके कर्म पे मिलते हैं. He mentioned those. Nobody forced him to go to a forest. He chose to do it.
That was his choice. Yes.
It was his choice. He did it, I think, as an example for others.
Yes.
That's what made him a legend for generations to come. Planets can bring misery in your life, but they cannot stop you from being who you are. They cannot stop you from being known for generations for who you are and what you can become.
Because ultimately it's your choice which shapes your life. So, you know, when you were talking about both these kundalis of Ram and Ravan, the first prominent thing which I realized was that yogs kitne powerful hote hain. Like they can make or break any person and they can change the course of your life. And if it is dasha dependent or if it is independent, then it's going to affect you for the whole life.
हमने कहा था एक पिछले शो में, yogs are destiny makers. Powerful yoga will make you, powerful yoga will break you.
Break you. Wow.
I'm still under the weather.
Ji. And so, but
Sorry.
no, and this is so fascinating that you are talking about people who I think I have heard half of the population say that they never occurred or this is just a belief or a story. But we are talking about their kundalis, we are talking about their lineage, and they are very much real. So we can, after all these generations, we can see how their behavior was, as you just mentioned, how he used to, like Ram and Ravan, dono ke saath mein, how they were with other people, what was their, like the structure, the bodily structure kaisa tha unka. So much can be found out from the kundali, graha, yog, or jo bhi unke charts hain.
So, not so much. Everything can be found out.
Exactly.
There is nothing that cannot be found out.
As you spoke about the siblings, as you spoke about their choices in life,
Their
what
choices,
gave them pleasure.
Their spouses, their body structures, their knowledge, their relation with their siblings, ये सारा कुछ पता चल जाता है. I mean, if you come to us with your chart,
Ji.
you are actually exposing yourself completely, for good or bad. We know exactly who you are.
So then it is even bigger responsibility to go and approach the right person.
I think you go to a doctor once a year, na? You should come to an astrologer, maybe not once a year. डरना नहीं चाहिए. It's good to go to an astrologer. At least they'll tell you what you're doing is right or wrong. Why do you want to waste another 5 years working in a company when you could be starting your own business?
So but then this the same point, I think, जो डरने वाली जो बात है, that is the same point that you're exposing your entire life, your बनते बिगड़ते योग and everything to that astrologer. So
you-
if a person wants to take some benefit out of you, then that person can do that.
I think you have two choices. Sit the way you are and let run life its course. Or two, you take control of life. You can take control of life only when you know your internal strengths, your internal weaknesses, and what destiny has in store for you. As an astrologer, numerologist, we can tell you what your core strengths are. कि life में क्या होगा आपके साथ. Even we'll tell you if you're going to succeed or fail. Many people come to us, हमने business start किया है. Business in what? You're doing the wrong business. It's not going to work. I had a mortgage broker come to me. I've quit my job. I'm doing mortgage broking, and he'd been doing it for 4 years. I said, how is the business going? Well, then not good. I said, you should not have started this business today. Karna hai karo, but it should have started a year after today. The first 4 years haven't done much for you. Stick. Saal baad aao. See how it goes. Those
So
are
that guidance could have been proved critical for him. The right time, the right business that
Yeah.
could actually change the course of your life.
बहुत बार होता है. People start something, they're not able to go anywhere. They can't do.
Yeah.
I've had couples come to me and say, हमारी शादी को 8 साल हो गए, बच्चा नहीं हुआ अभी तक. And I always tell them, looking at their chart, I'm like, maybe you cannot have a kid. Go adopt one. It's a great thing to adopt. It's the most humanitarian thing you can ever do. Astrology में भी यही कहते हैं. And astrology also says something we take for granted, like kids. They actually are a gift from God. Believe me, everybody cannot have a kid, and there are listeners here who don't. They're missing out on something, na? But so be it. What can we do? As an astrologer, I can tell you, बच्चे होंगे, नहीं होंगे. And अगर होंगे, तो how much happiness they'll bring in your life.
Right.
These are things we can see. These are things we can predict, and we can guide you. So learn to go to one. If you're scared to go to an astrologer, that means that astrologer is wrong for you. Are you scared to go to a doctor? Sometimes, some people, oh, my cholesterol might be high, but you
Yeah,
still go.
unless you know what's inside your body.
Go to the right astrologer.
Ji.
You must gel with them. Go to somebody who understands the field, who explains things in a very simple way. Complicated, convoluted way में समझाने से फायदा नहीं है. आप और डरोगे. सबकी कुंडली में बहुत सारी स्ट्रेंथ्स है. सबकी कुंडली यूनिक है. मुझे तो लगता है कि every कुंडली is a perfect कुंडली. Every soul is perfect. Everybody is unique and should be looked at with a positive way. अगर कोई आपको नहीं पसंद, you don't have to necessarily be with that. Just ignore them.
Yeah.
Move on.
Exactly.
The one thing I notice when I look at charts here is people don't let go of things in life.
Yeah, baggage is a big problem.
You call it baggage. I call it not letting go of things. ये क्यों let go ना? हो गया. If somebody has cheated you, if somebody has deserted you, it was because it was destined to happen. The day you understand that, you'll be so much happier in life. आप बोलोगे
That's
ये तो
true.
होना था मेरे साथ.
Yes.
सब आते हैं पैसे. Forget the money for a change. First focus on your health. Then focus on your mind. Then focus on yourself. ये 3 चीजें आप improve कर लो, आपकी देखो आपकी लाइफ कितनी अच्छी चलेगी.
That's the sour of life.
No, that's-
Actually, the basis of life.
तो यही कह रहे हैं कि ये दशहरा है. It's a happy occasion. You're going to go to a temple or friends. You're going to wear new clothes. You're going to buy jewelry. You're going to do something. You're going to spread that joy. You're going to spread that happiness.
Yes.
So why not start from within? Why don't you think of Dussehra as a change that is taking place in your life, as a change which is coming? Closing में हम बाद में बात करेंगे what my interpretation of Dussehra is. I want to explain to people कि ये जो 2 कुंडली हमने पढ़ी थी, even after being so similar, they're still so different.
Yes.
I guarantee you and assure you कि the callers हैं जो सुन रही हैं show, so many similar things. In fact, one thing I haven't shared with you, and this is just me because हमारी अभी 30+ years experience हो गया astrology में.
जी.
When we meet somebody interesting, or we meet somebody we've spent a lot of time with, I always go back. I take a piece of paper and I just draw a birth chart. Without knowing their date, place, time, I don't need it, and I start placing planets in there.
As per your observation.
As per my observation. Yes,
Oh, wow.
granted it's not right. And granted काफी बार गलत होता है. But looking, when I say गलत, योग नहीं देखते हम. we just try to see what would come out of that person based. So like if I look at you, I'll give you your example today on radio, right?
Okay.
तो आपने कहा you're well read, right? आपकी डिग्री है केमिस्ट्री में. People
जी.
don't know, you should tell them. Vedika has a master's in organic
Organic
chemistry,
chemistry,
which
yes.
is a very very hard difficult thing to do. तो जो master's degree है, it is ruled by the 11th house also. So we know your 11th house lord has to be well placed. You completed your degree, इसमें planet अच्छे होंगे. Now Vedika has also got kids. तो जो 5th house है, that must have good placement. You have 2 boys. So we can gradually say कि उस पे Jupiter या Sun का दशा कर रही है. So we know exactly where Sun and Jupiter are going to be placed in your chart. Now you are an RJ. You like doing RJ stuff.
Yes.
So the Venetian effect is starting to come in. Venus.
Hmm.
Venus is a hobby for you. RJ is a hobby. It's not a work, it's a career, it's something you are interested in doing. तो जो आपका third house lord है, hobbies, वो आपके first house में आके बैठ सकता है. So we know you have some influence of Venus. Either it is sitting in the 7th house or 3rd house का first house में बैठा है, या 10th house में बैठा है, because those are what create the aspects. Then based on how you look, we can start creating a birth chart for you. So even if we
Wow.
don't have your time, we'll create a fairly accurate chart in our head, and then on paper I'll make one, and I'll say this is how this person is. Strengths,
Amazing.
weaknesses.
That is amazing.
But हम ऐसा करते हैं. I've done that for so many people I've met here at Radio Zindagi also.
Wow.
So many people I meet in my daily life. It's important, no?
This is some sort of power, right? Don't you feel that way, like that you can actually decipher a personality right in front of you?
I'm not sure power है, or is it experience, or is it knowledge, but it is something I enjoy doing.
But 30 years,
Yeah.
it's definitely a learned skill which you have developed over these years.
वो-
And going through like 12,000 people's chart.
नहीं, वो तो है, but at the same time, knowledge is good only if it is used correctly.
Yes,
and if it
absolutely.
is imparted to educate the future generations.
Hmm.
तो मैं बार बार यही कहता हूँ, as an astrologer, our job is like a GPS in a car. If you're going from here to Los Angeles, आप north चले गए, you're going to waste your time, effort, energy, and go back south again. If we can
It has
tell
to
you,
be in the right direction.
go south, and if there's traffic, we'll say don't leave now. थोड़े टाइम बाद निकलिए. So compare your astrologer with a GPS in a car, who can guide you in the right direction. इस show पे we had so much to cover. We had कुंडलीज of भगवान Ram and Ravan, and we wanted less calls. हमें बहुत कम calls चाहिए क्योंकि दशहरा है. We wanted to discuss
Yes.
this thing, But अभी 4 मिनट बचे हैं हमारे पास. So we are going to do some closing thoughts.
So, but before you do closing thoughts, मैं बहुत important चीज़ listeners को remind करवाना चाहती हूँ कि बहुत सही बात यहाँ से निकल के आई है कि क्यों हमारे लिए हमारे चार्ट्स को स्टडी करना या किसी एक्सपर्ट के साथ स्टडी करवाना इम्पॉर्टेंट है. कई बार ऐसी सिचुएशंस होती हैं, ऐसे हमारे योग होते हैं जिनके बारे में हम अनअवेयर होते हैं, और मे बी इफ देर इज समथिंग गुड कमिंग एट यू एंड you are not able to use it fully, or maybe something which could be alarming and you're not aware of it. So to know your charts, it just gives you some sort of control. I know Kundali, जो astrological positions हैं planets की and all that, they are beyond anybody's control. But maybe you can be well prepared, maybe you can be well aware of what the situations are going to be, when is the right time to grab that opportunity. So सारी चीज़ें एक ही तरफ इशारा करती हैं कि आपको एक एक्सपर्ट से मिलना चाहिए, आपको अपने चार्ट्स को स्टडी करवाना चाहिए. And one such expert is definitely Dr. Saket Bhatia, with over 25 years of experience, and he has a combined knowledge of astrology and numerology. So he is the perfect person for you if you're looking for somebody जिनसे आप अपने charts discuss करना चाहते हैं, या numerology से related आपका कोई भी question है, ज़रूर कॉल कीजिए. डायरेक्ट नंबर है उनका 4086395300, and website, as I mention again and again, is by his first and last name, saketbhatia.com. info@saketbhatia.com, जहाँ आप उन्हें लिख सकते हैं. And I'm sorry to stop you, but I think this is very very valuable information, and people who are listening to us, sometimes they call me after the show कि अरे हमारा नंबर नोट करना रह गया, आप प्लीज रिपीट कीजिए. So that's why I had to do
That's
that.
okay. But हम closing है, हमारे पास 2 minutes. So I'm going to talk my interpretation of Dussehra and why you need to at least think of what I'm trying to tell you.
जी.
देखिए दशहरा जो है वो 9 दिन बाद आता है, after नवरात्रे. Think of those 9 days as the gestation period for a mother. 9 months. And the 10th day जो है, it is victory for the mother, where she is nurturing her baby and introducing the baby to the world. right? So this is important. This victory is not just of good over evil, it is of love over pain. In our life, we have many battles to fight. Some battles are daily, some are monthly, some are ongoing, some are never ending, some are emotional, some are physical. But remember, just like you, every battle is unique for every other person. आपके battles बड़े हैं, दूसरों के भी बड़े होते हैं. Dussehra tells us good over evil and imparts so many lessons that I want to discuss briefly. It reminds us that no matter how powerful our challenges are, there is always hope. If you are sincere, you follow the path of truth, you work hard and give yourself the very best. Don't worry so much about the results. अच्छी चीजें होंगी. Self-reflection. Reflect on yourself. Don't deviate into the path of doing wrong. Try to be good. You will be fine in life. Dussehra is the story of hero like Lord Ram. So learn from him. Have courage, determination, and जो challenge आता है, go front on. You'll win. Unity and celebration, learn to let go and celebrate. In conclusion, Dussehra is more than a festival. It's a reminder that the battle of good and evil will continue even within ourselves. It encourages us to choose the path of goodness, self-reflection, and celebration of the positive values that will lead again to a more harmonious, fulfilling, and a better life for us.
Indeed, a beautiful thought. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for being on air with us. And listeners, आप सुन रहे थे the Saket Bhatia Astrology Show. We are coming to the end of the show, but don't forget to tune in next Tuesday. आप सुन सकते हैं 4 से 5 के बीच में live, और या फिर आप डायरेक्ट कॉल कर सकते हैं 408-639-5300 पे, और contact him through his website saketbhatia.com. With that, this is RJ Vedika signing off. सुन रहे हैं आप रेडियो जिंदगी. Cheers.
You are listening to Radio Zindagi, KZDG 1550 AM, San Francisco and the entire Bay Area.
5 p.m. time check.
This time check